Yes.
Hi everybody, it's me again, Shiraz. But today, you know, this whole month being October, we have the October Awareness Month. And, you know, back in the day, for the October Awareness Month, there were so many things that we used to do. I know this COVID has come through right now, and it really made us evolve. I think we are different people now, you know. So on that note, we just want to introduce our guest today. Her name is Renay. Laroo, am I right? Pronouncing it right? Okay. So she's one of our cancer survivors. But before we even get into your story, Renay, you know, there's so many of things that's been happening for the past 3 years. I mean, we've got the COVID. We don't know what we're fighting. Then we've got the vaccine that's happening right now. And, you know, business is all coming together right now. Things are coming together, but still we have to identify that we have something that we are fighting that we cannot see. So we just want to go into our story with Renay, and you know, having a terminal illness is not really easy to handle. So Renay, don't you want to just tell us really, really quickly, you're a survivor of the cancer, and tell me where about did you find it, and tell me more about your story.
Well, it was cervical cancer.
Okay.
And I had continuous bleeding, and that's how I had to go and check it out. And when I did go and check it out, they came back and they told me that I've got high cells of cancer, so they need to operate, which they did. They took my whole room out, everything, and from there, the oncologist was brought in, and I told my gynecologist, I said, do what you need to do. And then I had my treatment 3 weeks after my operation. I started it. It was radiation, light chemo, and then I had the high dose chemo, which I lost hair from top to bottom. And now I sit here. My last chemo was on the 20th of January. I had no hair at all. Well, now you can see.
Is that why you haven't been busy? And you know, it's been such a long time since I've seen you, and I'm like, where is Renay? And I was asking your mom about this. And when I saw you just the other day, I thought, Renay, but where have you been? And you said how much she does. You know, it was just a bad time of my life. And us being hairdressers and obviously counselors, we don't ever take it into consideration that, you know, our clients are not coming, but they think they're going somewhere else. And, you know, hence they could have been, you know, they also we grow up together, you know. And I was so excited to see you. And tell me, don't you want to tell us, like, so this story that you told us was obviously cervical cancer, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Then when you got the news, when doctor told you, you know, us being women, you know, we get our ladies, and then sometimes due to hormones, we also bleed in, you know, inconsistent. So when did you like realize that, hey, I really got to get to the doctor?
Well, when the blood was actually running down my legs in about this time, so I had to go to the doctor. And when the doctor came after the operation and told me that this is bad, it's in the lymph nodes, it's this, it's that, I said, okay, then doctor, do what you need to do.
And how did it make you feel? How did you feel in that moment? I mean, us normal, and I'll say women of color. I'm going to use, it's not a discrimination at all, please, guys. It's not a discrimination. It's just a really general question. I mean, I don't feel like that. So when the doctor had spoken to you about that, and you know, us women, we don't really bother now. You've got this news, and do what you need to do. But it just hit you like same time.
Immediately it didn't hit me. I felt a little bit disturbed.
Okay.
But when I spoke to the doctor and he said to me, Renay, I'm bringing in the oncologist, I said, you know, doctor, do what you have to do because it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I found throughout my process of my treatment and stuff, that I had to be positive. And I had to put God in the center of everything. And that's how I became an overcomer of this disease.
For how long did you did you go through this? When did you first find out?
I found out last year, June, end of June. Treatment started end of July. Operation was at the beginning of July. Treatment started end of July. And the hectic, the high dose chemotherapy was at the end of September. And I finished in January this.
And how was that journey having to go through, that chemo? Not every one of us understand it. I mean, it's like COVID right now. Medicals will tell us, make sure you wear your mask, or they'll tell you all of this. But if you don't experience maybe a death of COVID, or maybe the ignorance of the actual COVID, knowing that we don't know much about the cancer because we just live day by day and we just survive, so we don't really expect it to happen to us. So how did you go through this chemo, and what went through your mind at this time?
With having a positive mind, it actually plays a major role. And as I went through it, I took life day by day. And different things started happening to my body because the chemo kills the cells in your body. To date, my feet are still a problem. But I must say that without stress in this process, it helps a lot, because all the side effects that were supposed to happen didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen according to the doctor. So I also believe that my God that I serve,
yes,
He was with me throughout the process. So yes, I did have my down moments after my chemo where I had to lay and have electrolytes put in my body and stuff like that. But there was always a positive side. I never looked down on myself. Yes, when I looked in the mirror and I thought, who's this person? I said, yes. But now when I look in the mirror and I say, who's this person? This is the person that I know.
Go. So that self-awareness is really, really important. What stage did you find out? At what stage? Because I know they come in stages.
He didn't give me a stage, to be very honest, but he did say it's quite bad. But because I had benefits of both worlds, where I had the operation and they removed some of the lymph nodes, and I had the treatment. So yes, I gained there and it wasn't cut, it was lasered. So when they say
Okay, so Renay, earlier on you were speaking about the laser treatment and how it actually resolves, and you had the best of that. So tell me, in this time that you were actually going through all this trauma and having to deal with this cancer, can I ask you, do you think it's really important to have a lifeline or a helpline in this time of having a battlefield in your mind? Because nobody will ever understand what you're going through. And sometimes with us being women of color, we don't have that. I mean, our brothers and sisters will just leave us to be, they don't know what's happening in our mind. Tell us out here, tell the audience as well. Do you think that it's important, and how do you reach out?
it is very important, to have a support structure, very important. And I had an excellent support structure, and that's also what got me through. My sisters, my parents, they were excellent with me. My sister used to come, cook for me, help me around the house, do whatever she needed to do, just so that I didn't have that burden also.
Yes.
And my ex-family-in-law in Joburg, they had my daughter for the majority of the time that I was going through my treatments. So that also helped, because it didn't make my daughter see what I went through. And yes, my family was fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
You know why I've asked you that question is because in 2001, back in the day, I also worked while I went to help with the hairdressing at hospice. And I did it for work purposes, because people pass away and we don't know how to speak to them. Us being hairdressers, we've got to counsel. And it really motivated me to want to give something back when it came to that. And I chose Highway Hospice, not knowing back in that day that, you know, the AIDS and the cancer patients, or what is this really about? So I used to go on a Thursday and go do their hair. And they would even forget my name. Shanaz, I want Shanaz to do my hair. And then the nurse asked me, don't I want to do the course? So I'm like, do a course? I really came here to help, you know, just to pamper and to give back. And you know how forward I can also sometimes be. I was intrigued and I did a 12-week course, which really made me understand the bereavement and death and also what the cancer patients go through, you know, and that's why hence I got a little bit of an idea of the caregiving, etc. And speaking on cancer, the broad spectrum of cancer, I mean, you get lung cancer, skin cancer, you get cervical cancer, we have throat cancer, etc., etc. And I think the lung cancer is one of the common. So in that area, sometimes a lot of our cancer patients are angry. Were you ever angry in that time?
I can't say that I was angry.
No.
I really can't say that I was angry because I took every day as a new day. Every day that God had given me to go through, and He brought me out at the end. So for me, it was just, and I keep on saying it, positive thinking when you're in a situation with the dreaded disease is very, very important.
So I'm sure that you would agree. The psychological side of it is accepting, and I find that a lot of our cancer patients, some, you know, are also, they question, why me, God? Why do I have to go through this? And, you know, as you say, your faith has to be very, very strong in this. And you've got to believe, because that will keep us going, you know. So tell me also, when it comes to the people out there, you know, should be aware of cancer. You know, we aware now of COVID, we aware that the vaccination is out here, but coming into a terminal illness that hasn't got a cure, do you really think, you know, we should really be aware of it?
You should be aware of it, and especially if things are not happening in your body the way they should, you should have it seen to, and not leave it, because that will lead you into stage 4 cancer, and then there's no real extra life given. So at least if you catch it early, you have a few more years to continue and to be with your family.
There you go. So there you go, guys. Basically, listen to your body. If your body is saying something, pay attention to that. So, just before we leave, and just to say bye to everybody else, tell me one more thing, some words of encouragement to any form. It could be our babies, it could be our adolescents, it could be our puberty, it could be our adults. Is there any words of encouragement that you would like to tell our audience out there that could, you know, that could help them to understand what you've actually been through and understand cancer awareness on its own?
All I can say is never let the situation, be it cancer, be it anything in life, get you down. Always live a positive life and you will go a far way in life. And for me, for the people out there, live life like you've never lived it, because tomorrow you will not. Tomorrow's not promised.
Well, there you go, guys. And on that note, here at our SD Academy, our Skills Development Center, we would like to give something back to the people. Back in the day, we used to take the Cancer Awareness Month and we would really do a cut-a-thon. For those who know what I'm talking about, a cut-a-thon in remembrance of the cancer patients and also those that survivors as well. We're going to be doing a cut-a-thon tomorrow, which is Sunday, the last day of the Cancer Awareness. We're going to be giving away cuts at 30 Rand. So whether you're having a color, whether you're having anything, your cut will be 30 Rand only. And that's the cut-a-thon we're going to be having tomorrow. So guys, you want to be here. You want to be here at Shana's Hair and Beauty Studio. And we want to do an embrace and let the people know that cancer is real and we really need to be aware. So on that note, we just want to say thank you so much, Renay, for joining us. Thank you for your story. I'm sure it will help a lot of people out there. And on that note, guys, don't forget to bring your towels. Don't forget to bring your masks. Take it easy. God bless.